Hi, I'm Namrata Purohit and welcome to my channel. So now I'm going to talk about the Pilates principles. There are 5 Pilates principles and these principles are extremely important when you work out. Even if you're not doing Pilates, you can take these principles to the other forms of exercise as they really do help you get leaner, fitter, faster. So the first principle that I'm going to talk about and the most important principle is the breathing principle. The way we breathe. As you must know, breathing is essential for all of us. But when you work out, it is very important to focus on your breath and on your breathing. And what you must do is breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth as if you're blowing off a candle. So it's a gentle inhale. And you slowly exhale through pursed lips as if you're blowing off a candle. So it's just a... When you do this, you must keep your core engaged. Now, what do I mean by core engagement? I mean 2 things. One is the gentle pulling in of the stomach. So as if you're wearing a tight pair of jeans and you're putting on that last button, you know how you suck your stomach in? That's what you need to do. And the second part is your pelvic floor. So what I mean by the pelvic floor is the pulling up of the pelvic floor muscle. So I'm going to give you a funny example, but imagine you're in the loo and somebody walks in. You're peeing and somebody walks in. You're going to stop peeing, right? So the muscles you use to stop peeing are the muscles I want you to engage in order to engage your core. So a combination of pulling your stomach in and pulling up your pelvic floor muscles is what I mean by core engagement. This is also part of the breathing principle. As you're not breathing into the stomach as is generally done, you're going to breathe in to your rib cage and a little bit into your back and lats. So you're breathing, your inhale, your rib cage and back is going to open up a little bit like an accordion, and on the exhale it's going to contract a little bit. Your core is engaged, you're breathing in through your nose and you're exhaling through your mouth. That is your first principle and the most important principle, the breathing principle. The second principle is your pelvic placement. Now, as you know, all of us have different curves, but everybody has an S-shaped spine. So we must maintain that S shape no matter what exercise you do. So, of course, I have a larger glute size, so my curve is naturally a bit more than most other people. But depending on your curve size, you want to maintain your neutral. Now, how do you maintain that? If you look or you see your hip bones here, they're called the anterior superior iliac spine. These 2 bones here and your pubic bone, you have to keep them in the same plane. So if you just put your palms on your hip bones and your fingers on your pubic bone, making a diamond shape, the fingers should point straight down. If I let them point backwards, that means I'm extending my back. If I let them point forwards, that means I'm sinking or flattening my back. You do not want to do that. You want to keep the neutral spine. So you want to maintain that S curve. So maintain this diamond shape, fingers pointing downwards. That is the neutral S of the spine. Whether you're standing, sitting or lying down, you should try and maintain this position. If you're lying down as well, the fingers should point straight forward. It shouldn't tilt upwards, it shouldn't tilt downwards. That is your neutral position. It is the most shock absorbent position for the body and the safest position to be in for your spine. The third principle is your ribcage principle. So again, this is an easier principle to understand. Basically, you don't want to pop, you don't want to sink. This should lie neutral and should just rest over your back. If I put my hands overhead, for example, you don't want to let your chest pop. This should still stay in the same plane. That is simple, your ribcage principle. The fourth principle, your shoulders. No elevation, don't depress it, no rounding, as is a very common problem these days, and no extending. With the amount we sit on our desk, over our phone, sitting in the car, we're constantly slouching. So it's important to try and draw your shoulders back into place in the neutral position for the shoulders. So a good way to remember this is if you elevate, take it back, push it down and then push it outwards to open it up, you're going to be in the neutral position for your shoulders. Even if you just do the protraction and retraction, in the middle of that is where your neutral for your shoulder is. Staying there, elevate and depress. In the middle of that again is where your neutral for the shoulders lie. So there's a lot that our shoulders can do, right? It can move in so many directions, hence a very common injury. This is a common injury that many sports players have and even people in daily life have. So this principle is really important to try and keep it in place and to try and keep it nice and open. during your exercise and even otherwise. Your fifth and your last principle is your head and neck placement. So no head forwards, no head backs, and no tilts. So you try and keep your head nice and straight over your body. Even while lying down, you try and keep it straight, lying straight. If you are lying down, you don't want to jam your chin down into your chest. You don't want to leave it behind. It should lie nice and long. Especially while doing a crunch, it's a very common mistake to jam your chin in. You do not want to do that. So if you're crunching, if you put a fist between your chin and chest, that's usually the amount you should kind of nod your head before you crunch up, and that's about it. More than that, it's probably a bit too much. For example, if your voice changes, like if my voice changes when my head is down or my voice changes when my head is back, I'm probably overextending or curling my neck a bit too much. So your voice should not change. If I'm crunching, my voice does not change. That's a good way to kind of remember or figure out if you're in your neutral for your head and neck. So these are your 5 basic principles of Pilates that you must follow. Putting these principles together will give you great posture, will help increase your core strength, improve your balance, as well as give you the maximum benefit from your exercises. So you got now what Pilates is, a little bit about it. So now in the next video, it's going to be time to try out those principles and do it and put them to play and put them to action. So do come and watch the next video. And as I keep saying, KISS. Keep it safe, simple and smart.